my thing, brother Rich, if you're gonna be a man that practices polygyny or polyamory, be a man that's honest. Be an honest man.
Okay.
See, because see, the honesty is your superpower. We talk about superpowers, right?
Right.
Passion, honesty. You said, brother, being blunt, being real. Keep it 100. Now, all women are not necessarily gonna be aligned with that, but there are sisters that are willing to work with you based upon your, she's gonna do an audit. She's gonna, well, who are you to request? So,
Right. Right.
brother, master your relationship with one.
Mm.
Use
Mm.
that master relationship with one, right? And if you have the
Mm.
capacity to facilitate more wombs, now your first relationship becomes an example where other sister wives come into. But if you're not disciplined with yourself first, as a man in your own healing, and then be able to complement and master one relationship, brother, you're walking into absolute utter chaos. So, for the brothers out there that are practicing multiple extended families, first internal audit. Do your daily pouring into yourself, strengthen your body, mind, spirit. If you have the capacity outside yourself to love another being, master that with that one woman.
Mm.
That one woman becomes the example. She becomes a sacred woman complement to your work and what you're doing, and you with her. Then, if you're going to add to the family, it's in truth. You add a sister that's building on what you two establish, right? And then the third sister, the fourth sister, right? And so
Mm.
now your capacity will be expanded. And now you have to be more responsible to maintain your extended capacity. So it's a lot just for a man to pour into himself, right? And not forget to make sure that he is an accountable man. Then to
Mm.
have a relationship with another human being. Then to multiply it. So for some brothers, brother Rich, I would say if you have the capacity to be moving and grooving, do it honestly. Because see, the brothers that moving in doing the shadow movement, right?
Mm.
You're only adding to the chaos, that none of us are healing from.
Woo, that was Supanova Slom dropping some gems. And make sure I have the link in the description for the full entire video. He gives a nice holistic perspective on Kevin Samuels, Dr. Umar Johnson, high value man, high value woman, like all of those. But this particular piece, I wanted to chop it out because it highlighted several things that I don't think it's talked about in the manosphere or red pill, blue pill, all these different things. So people who are watching the Kevin Samuels or into some of these things, the main thing is, are you good within? Are you good within yourself first and foremost? Like a lot of people who are worried about juggling this many, women, all this stuff. Yo, you have to get yourself before you even work on that, and then work on as far as just focusing on one relationship. How are you going to be trying to build up your business, having these multiple women, and then, he brought up a good point as far as the shadow movement, because at the end of the day, the same way that he said that to be a reflection as far as for what it is you're doing, we have to look at as a whole our people, and as far as our women and ourselves, us as men. Because the women, if we're sitting up here and we're saying that all these different things, and a lot of people seem to be trying to put the blame as far as on women, but at the end of the day, the women, good or bad, are a reflection of us, good or bad. There's a lot of things that I agree with Kevin Samuels with, but there's some things that just don't click with me because I'm looking at things, on this holistic view, which is, if we're looking at the fact that there's all these single men, all these average earners, normal men, we have to take into consideration how ready those men are for relationships. We can't ignore when women are saying like, yo, but he did this, he did this. Yes, there is accountability as women, but there's accountability as men. And if we're supposed to be men, we say we're men, right? And men are supposed to lead. That means in everything. And if we can't sit up there and act like this is not a direct reflection, you know, quote unquote modern women, different things like that, that isn't a direct reflection of us as men. In both of us, you know, both of us, historically speaking, here in America, we got some trauma, you know, but we keep on saying, as far as this masculine energy that some modern women are displaying, but we can't. Where did they get it from? We as men have to set a new standard collectively. You know, a lot of us are just cool with, you know, like chilling. If we have our women that are wanting a standard of living, we're in a day and age where, yo, to be a quote unquote high earning man, you are able to do that having your own, you know, podcast, having, you know, all these different things. We need to have a better standard of living for us as men, and the accountability we hold for each other. Just because you're a man doesn't mean to be a jackass, you know, because a jackass has no, you know, gender. You know, in the way that a lot of us as men, I'm speaking in general terms here, not all of us, but we're straight up jackasses. And that is, just because you're a man doesn't mean to exclude basic stuff as a human being. If you do want multiple women, cool. You need to let the women that you're dealing with know. That's why I like when he mentioned as far as the shadow movement, because there is a lot of that that's going on. We talk about the women that, you know, Kevin Samuels talks about the women that, you know, wreck their own home. But, you know, what about the men that wreck their own home? You know, if you can't even financially provide, what are you worrying about as far as multiple women for? Us collectively, I feel like a lot of our focus is on the wrong thing. What are we even looking at Kevin Samuels for if you should be building up your stuff to be a high value man? I know the majority of those views are not from the quote unquote high value men. So our focus is in the wrong spot, and I'm guilty of it as well, you know, but I do have a business and stuff that I'm doing, you know, to build up for that stuff. I just turned 30, but I wasn't no bum. I spent my 20 years performing, building a business, trying different things, just trying to release the fiction book, wrote several books. We need to be doing stuff, building our legacy, and leading by example. Human nature, whether man or woman, is going to be nature, you know, but that does not mean to be disrespectful. That doesn't mean to be a jackass. That does not mean to lie. Like Supanova said, you know, there's some women that are going to be down with it if you be straight up. But the thing is, can you provide? Do you have the capacity? Have you gotten to that point yet? And a lot of us haven't even got to that point. So how are you even worried about that? You know, like, why are you like, if you seen Abba and Preach, they had dropped the video. I'll drop it in the description as well. But you know, he brought up a good point, and it's just like, how much pussy do you need? Like, for real, once you, and I get it, not every man is blessed to have gotten several sexual experiences, but the thing is, when you do, it's just like, it's not even a big, and you don't gotta be a high value, you just gotta be a person with energy and stuff to do, you know, like, you're worried about the wrong things, you know. So hey, I just wanted to give my thoughts on it. I really liked what Supanova said, and if you want to hear more on what his thoughts are as far as on Kevin Samuel, Dr. Umar Johnson, and just in general, definitely check out the full video. I will have the link in the description. And Make sure to check out all the goodies. Subscribe to my channel. There's a lot of different stuff on this channel, so definitely have fun going down the rabbit hole. But again, this was Composition MC that writes fiction. Peace. Coming back to earth with a couple gems of wisdom that might take